Good evening, everybody. It's 6 o'clock, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. We'll begin with the invocation led by Councilmember Honeycutt, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance led by Councilmember Grant. Please rise as you're able.
Let us bow our heads. Tonight, we give thanks for the opportunity to serve Knoxville and all who call it home. May we listen with patience, work in good faith, and seek the common good with wisdom, humility, and care. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Mr. Johnson, would you please call roll?
Councilwoman Adams, Councilman DeBartoleben.
Here.
Vice Mayor Fugit.
Here.
Councilman Grant. Councilman Helsley. Councilman Honeycutt.
Here.
Councilman Lloyd.
Here.
Councilwoman Parker. Councilman Thomas. Here. 7 members present, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion on the minutes from the June 23rd meeting?
Motion to approve.
Motion made and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all of those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. On to tonight's agenda. Are there any items to be withdrawn? Are there any items to be postponed? Any items to be added by motion? There are no memorials or honorary resolutions. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Move to approve.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Time now for my mayor's report. I want to start by thanking everyone who came out to enjoy a very special festival on the 4th. As you know, it was our country's 250th birthday. I had the pleasure of reading the Declaration of Independence along with some other elected officials while the symphony was playing music behind us. I found it very stirring, and I think the 10,000 plus people who were there to enjoy the festival and the fireworks and the food and other music seemed to all be having a really good time. It's, as you know, a free, family-friendly event, and I think it might have been a record turnout, and it's hard to believe, but the weather was a little cooler on Saturday than it had been earlier in the week, so that was a lucky break as well. Even though this is a free event to the visitors and residents who enjoy it, we all know that wouldn't be possible without the hardworking city employees who pull it off. So special thanks to all our first responders, public service crews, and special events folks who worked really long, hard hours all that day to organize, keep everyone safe, set things up, clean things up afterwards, and just make sure it was a wonderful evening to celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. Not long after, we had Sunday off, and Monday was a regular work day, but after the evening of Monday, we had another special occasion, which was also made successful by our special events teams, first responders, and public service crews. We partnered with One Knox Soccer Club to pull off, I thought it was the best watch party on Gay Street, best watch party in the city on Gay Street. We closed down the 400 block of Gay Street, and the watch party was super fun, a really great crowd. The only thing that didn't go well was the play of the Team USA. It did not quite go as we were rooting for them, but anyhow, we'll get them in 4 years. But anyhow, it was a great sense of community fun, and as you know, this is the summer of soccer in Knoxville, and it was great to see so many people out there enjoying a nice evening. This week, we are celebrating another milestone in transforming Western. Tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., everyone is invited to help break the ground on some of the neighborhood amenities that are going to help strengthen the sense of community. We will be breaking ground on a new Connections building, a destination park, and the expansion of the Beaumont Youth Center. I am super excited to get these projects underway, as I know you all are too. So if you have time, come on out tomorrow, 10 a.m. Groundbreaking will happen along West Oak Hill Drive, rain or shine. Thursday, we have another happy occasion. The Knoxville Police Department is having a promotional ceremony where 13 veteran officers will be moving into advanced leadership roles. The ceremony is at 4 o'clock at Sevier Heights Church off Maloney Road. Hope to see you all there. And before we move on, I want to also take a moment to recognize our Summer in the City interns who are here with us tonight. These students, some in high school, some in college, are spending 8 weeks of their summer working alongside city departments. They're placed in different departments across the city, from policy to the fire department to communications. These students are also really seeing what it looks like to work for the people of Knoxville. Many of them also devote their Wednesdays to Kidderific events where they get to engage with the public in a whole new way. And I really appreciate that their dedication and hope that they're having a great summer. Will you guys please raise your hands to be recognized? Thank you. And finally, a quick reminder about our rules of decorum. We are here to do the city's official business. Those who wish to speak either to a specific agenda item or during public forum need to sign up with the city recorder before 4 p.m. Do not use profanity. And when speaking to specific agenda items, you must stay on topic. Remarks must be germane to the question ahead of the assembly. That is, statements must have bearing on whether the pending motion should be adopted. Those who fail to adhere to these rules will be ruled out of order. For those who are listening, please note, if you disrupt a public meeting, you will be asked to leave or escorted out. Thanks in advance for everyone's respect for these rules. All right, are there reports of committees or council members serving on committees or boards? Okay. Are there any general council member announcements? Council member Grant.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Want to bring to everyone's attention the League of Women Voters of Knox and Knox County are hosting a voter palooza Saturday, July 18th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Dr. Walter Hardy Park on MLK. There's going to be food trucks, games, just an opportunity to engage the community and you know, get individuals excited about voting. And so I wanted to invite everyone out to come out to that. Just kind of want to mention some of the things last week. July 1st, Parks and Rec officially took over Chehaui Park. I want to give a shout out to our Parks and Rec department. I think they did an amazing job. Despite the heat conditions, they did an amazing job just making sure everyone was hydrated, making sure everyone was engaged. The amount of kids, a lot of people brought their children. So it was a great sight to see, and I look forward to more opportunities. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Parks and Rec. Prior to that, our CPAG meeting, the Chehaui Park Advisory Group, hosted their third meeting the Tuesday prior. And that's making great progress. I just wanted to update the community on the CPAG. We're taking tremendous strides in terms of engaging the community and making sure that we're keeping the community engaged in the process. And so if you go on CPAG's website, on the city website, there's 2 surveys that I'm encouraging not only ourselves, but other residents in Knoxville to please stay engaged, fill out the survey. We welcome input, and we look forward to the outcomes of this discussion. But I definitely wanted to give a shout out to our urban and design department as well. Danielle, she's done a great job, her and Ben, facilitating the process. Next meeting is going to be August 11th at the Jacobs Building at 5:30, so I'm encouraging all residents to attend. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Vice Mayor Fugit.
Thank you. In keeping with council tradition, I would like to recognize that Councilwoman Parker has a birthday tomorrow. She's not here, so we don't have to sing to her, but if you see her tomorrow, please tell her that she was recognized and wish her a happy birthday.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other announcements, we'll move on to the next item.
11E is a resolution approving an appeal by Scott Albrecht of the denial of the Board of Zoning Appeals of a variance to decrease the minimum required corner side setback for a detached garage in an RN1 zoning district from 15 feet to 10 feet per Article 10.3.P.3 for property located at 1503 Southgate Road, 2nd District.
Okay, thank you. Is the appellant present, Mr. Albrecht? Or someone representing? Okay. You can come to the podium, you and or your representatives. You have up to 15 minutes to present your case. You can use that all yourself, or you can share that among other speakers. You do not have to use the whole 15 minutes, but you have up to 15 minutes. And Mr. Johnson will start the clock shortly. And if you could start by stating your name and address for the record. And I'll actually first start by turning on the microphone. There's a little button. It should turn red, but not the button, but up by the microphone. Mr. Claybo, could you help him? There,
we
you got
go.
it. You got it.
Jonathan Miller, and 5405 Holston Hills Road. I'm the architect that's been assisting the Albrechts with the project, and we thought it was worthy to appeal the ruling. I believe it's a 2-4 vote that did not grant the variance. We felt like that the property configuration did represent an exceptionally irregular configuration that was prohibiting the owner from being able to do a very small single-car garage. We felt like it was sensitive to the neighborhood, the scale of the neighborhood. It was at the right position. This is not a large house. It's and very much in keeping with the character of that area of Sequoia Hills. So we thought that this did represent an exceptional irregularity that was prohibiting the owner from adding this small structure on. Right adjacent to the property, its zone is RN1. Adjacent zoning is RN2 on either side of the property. If we would have been in that zone, we'd only be asking for a 2-foot variance. I think the total covered area that's sitting over the setback line would be about 60 square feet. It's on an 18,000 square foot parcel property, so it's a pretty small request. We did speak with the neighborhood association and met with them after the previous Board of Zoning Appeals meeting. We wanted to make sure they were comfortable with the request, and so we did get some correspondence from them stating that they determined that the variance of this property that we're requesting was consistent with the zoning regulations. It would not appear out of place for the neighborhood or be otherwise problematic for the neighborhood association. So we thought it was worth coming back and asking for an appeal and a reconsideration. Happy to answer any questions you all might have.
Okay, thank you. We will move to, unless you want to say anything else, if council has questions, I'll do that during their time. Did you want to use any more of your 15 minutes?
Yeah, I just will, in addition to this, I spoke about the small amount of coverage we were requesting, the zoning. We also were doing a reduction in impervious area on the site. There's currently a single car garage that sits kind of in the middle of the back of the parcel. The owner would like to tear that down, remove the paving surface, and do a much smaller paved area. So that too is a positive thing, I felt like, for the overall use of the site. It's going to keep that corner very green. Yeah, and that was it. So.
Okay, thank you. If
Thank
they
you.
have questions, we'll call you back up.
Yeah, thank you.
Now, is there anyone here who opposes this appeal, the appellee? Anyone here to speak in opposition to this appeal? Okay, then there's no need for a rebuttal. So now, council, you may deliberate on this item, including asking questions of the people who are present for this. Mr. Honeycutt.
Yes, I guess I'd like to start with asking Council Rob Frost to define for everyone the criteria for a variance, please.
Thank you, Councilmember Honeycutt. Variances are found in Section 16.3 of the zoning code. Briefly, the purpose of the variance process is to provide a narrowly circumscribed means by which relief may be granted from unforeseen applications of the zoning regulations of this code that create practical difficulties or particular hardships. And then you turn over to Part E of 16.3, and there's a discussion of the standards. A variance may be offered from the strict application of the code to relieve such difficulties or hardship only in accordance with all of the following criteria. Then there's a listing of the 5 criteria. Briefly, variances will only be granted where special circumstances or conditions such as exceptional narrowness, topography, or siting, as described in the minutes, do not apply generally to the district. Variances will not be granted to allow a use otherwise excluded from the particular district in which this is requested. I don't think that one applies to this situation. Third one, for the reasons fully set forth in the findings, the circumstances are such that the strict application of the code would deprive the applicant, in this case the property owner, of any reasonable use of his or her land. Mere loss in value does not justify a variance. There must be deprivation of beneficial use of the land. Fourth, any variance granted under the provisions of this section must meet the minimum adjustment necessary for the reasonable use of the land. And finally, the granting of any variance is in harmony with the general purposes and intent of this code and will not be injurious to the neighborhood, detrimental to the public welfare, or in conflict with the general plan for the development. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I guess this question is for Mr. Miller, if you come back. So, obviously, a couple quick sort of clerical notes. One is just for everyone in the audience, too, to understand City Council's role during an appeal. We have to, during this kind of process, we have to act in a quasi-judicial role, like it's a very black and white, following the law kind of role. So we have to remove all subjectivity about do we like the design, do we think it's appropriate, that kind of stuff, and just literally look at the variance requirements and act in that way. So I think it's different than any other vote that we take sort of that comes before us. And I agree with you, in looking back at the record and looking back at the BZA and your statement tonight that, you do meet a lot of those in terms of it's not a detriment, to the neighborhood. It's the scale is appropriate. There was one question, I think the one criteria is that, and you have to meet all of them, is the hardship. And that was the one that came up at the BZA, and the architect on the board at the time asked the question about, is there another location on the property that this garage would work? And they mentioned sort of turning it, moving it to the back. You didn't really, at the time, your representative didn't really have an answer to that in terms of addressing the hardship issue and being able to check that box. I wondered if you could give a little update on that and why you feel like this is the only location for the garage, and what about the site creates that hardship?
Yeah, Brett, I think that's a good point of discussion. We looked at multiple options. I think in the end, what it was going to require of the owner would be to ultimately pave across the back of the yard in order to position that structure on the side of the yard where the garage doors wouldn't be opening straight onto the street from that corner position. And keep in mind that the property line, the irregularity that's creating the hardship is that line is tapering across the back. So essentially that garage almost have to sit directly in the backyard of the home. We felt like that was inconsistent with the neighborhood. It just wasn't appropriate for the scale and also the way the owner was wanting to kind of reclaim their backyard. So we felt like that was a reasonable take. We looked at obviously a front yard condition, motor court concept. We looked at trying to pull the garage farther forward to the front yard, but that was really pushing pavement out into the front of the property that we were trying to eliminate. So in the end, we felt like this was just the most appropriate location. I will mention that the front of this garage is inside of the setback, right? So where we're proposing the garage, what's street facing, if this would have parallel lot lines, there would be no issue. And I think that also would be a fair point to state that had this been a tear down, if the owner elected to tear down the house, I don't think this hardship would exist, right? Because we're trying to keep the house and preserve the scale of that existing structure. So in that event, that's where I feel pretty strongly that based on those conditions, that this was something that I would tab. I think the zoning references this as exceptionally irregular. That exceptional irregularity is based on the existing structure being there and simply what we had to work with.
Okay, thank you very much. I know I'm out of time, so I'll let others speak or ask questions that they have, but then before I come back and talk further. So, thank you.
Any other comments or questions? Mr. Honeycutt,
Okay.
there's a
Um,
lead.
Thank you. So, looked at this, did talk with the neighborhood association. I think in this case, I believe the applicant has shown enough to meet the standard. The lot is irregularly shaped, the home already exists in its current location, and the requested setback reduction is limited. I also do not see evidence that this would harm the neighborhood or public welfare. Because of that, I believe the variance standard has been met, and I will be voting yes on the appeal. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the appeal.
Okay. Motion's been made to approve the appeal. It's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Councilmember Thomas.
Yeah, this actually is a pretty close case, and as we heard the reading of the law, I think, though I agree with my colleague in the second district, if you kind of put everything together here, it is kind of an odd situation here. And so even though it's close and we do scrutinize these criteria, I think on this one, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt here to the applicant. So I'll be voting in favor of the motion.
Okay, Mr. Honeycutt, your light's still on? Did you?
No.
Okay. Mr. Thomas, your light is now off. Any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, moving right along.
12F is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation to participate in the Pedestrian Road Safety Initiative for pedestrian improvements on Sutherland Avenue between Longview Road and Hollywood Road for an estimated project cost of $300,000, with the city funding $30,000, Districts 2 and 6.
Move to approve.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
12G is a resolution authorizing the mayor to amend the contract with Gresham Smith to provide design services for the South Knoxville Bridge Greenway project, increasing the contract amount by $35,460 for a new total contract amount not to exceed $275,670, Districts 1 and 6.
Move to approve.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12H is a resolution authorizing the mayor to amend the contract with Adams Contracting LLC for the North Cherry Street Stormwater Improvements Project, increasing the contract amount by $95,842.40 for a new total contract amount not to exceed $2,941,689.31, funded with the American Rescue Plan Act grant, District 4.
Motion to approve.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12I is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documents necessary to effectuate an amendment to agreement number C-22-0552 with Samsara Incorporated to extend the term for 10 months for the continued provision of telematics hardware, services, and accessories for automatic vehicle location tracking and of assets managed by the Department of Fleet Services for an amount not to exceed $177,633.66 for the term of this extension agreement.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12J is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Knoxville's Community Development Corporation for Phase 5 infrastructure improvements at Western Heights in an amount not to exceed $4,500,000, District 6.
Move to approve.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Council members, for those of you who've been on council, you know that this is an ongoing project and an ongoing investment to transforming Western. And if you haven't been up to Western Heights recently, the word transforming is very appropriate. That whole neighborhood is being transformed in a really, really positive way. This $4.5 million will be invested in infrastructure and construction. And over 6 years, the city's total commitment to this KCDC-led project is a combined $26.5 million. And like so many other investments that we invest in, this leverages over many more dollars than we put in. We're putting in $26.5 million, which leveraged a $40 million federal grant and a total of over $200 million in private and public dollars to transform that community. And it's been very rewarding to watch this project come to life. So I appreciate council's continual support for this. Councilmember Thomas.
Yeah, for those of us watched this development over a long period of time, this is really a success story in my view. And I want to hats off to KCDC for bringing this along. A $40 million federal grant was obtained that was very competitive. It took some real finesse by the city to get that money. And it's being put into very, very good use. And I look at this as kind of a model development. I take a little bit of special interest in it because this used to be in the 5th District, and it still borders the 5th District. So I'm really pleased to see this taking place. Thank you.
Councilmember Honeycutt.
I agree, and just want to second those same sentiments. It's a great example of city money, federal money, and private money all coming together to transform our community. And so while it is a significant amount of city dollars, it is leveraging a much larger investment in our community, and it sets a great precedent, and I fully support it.
Thank you. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12K is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a sub-grantee agreement with Southeastern Housing Foundation II Incorporated, not to exceed $90,000, $775 in community development block grant funding to support its permanent supportive housing case management program, District 3.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Councilmember Honeycutt?
Yeah, just real quick, and I believe, just for clarification, basically items K, the next 4 items, which are all part of the Community Development Block Grant, is also another example of using federal funding. Is that correct?
Mr. DeBose?
Yeah. Kevin DeBose, Housing and Neighborhood Development, that is correct.
Right.
Yeah, each item comes from we're an entitlement city. We receive these federal funds, and we try to use them in a manner that keeps people housed, and it's for the benefit of low and moderate income persons.
Great, thank you.
And I'll just add that Callahan Flats is another housing development that we should be very proud of. The city did put, I think, about $4 million of local dollars towards the capital construction of that, and it's a pleasure to see how many people are affordably housed in places that, in ways that they might not have otherwise had that opportunity. And this gives them that case management support for those who need that. So, any other questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12L is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a sub-grantee agreement with East Tennessee Community Design Center to provide an amount not to exceed $25,000 in community development block grant funding for conceptual design and technical assistance service for approximately 7 community projects.
Move to approve.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Councilmember Helsley?
Yes, I have a question. It says 7 projects, but are these to be decided, or what does that look like?
Mr. DeBose?
Mr. DeBose or somebody
Yes.
who help me here.
And I see my good friend Perry Childress
There you go.
from the Design Center here, and grateful for his work and partnership. Usually, nonprofits approach the Design Center with good ideas. And the beauty of this is, they can get some assistance there at no cost. And our department is contacted when those projects are identified so that we make sure that it's consistent with our consolidated plan and meets the other objectives. But they're usually identified, as we go along.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you so much.
Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12M is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Legal Aid of East Tennessee to provide an amount not to exceed $125,000 in community development block grant funding for the provision of legal services to low-income individuals facing wrongful evictions and other critical housing issues.
Move to approve.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, Councilmember Thomas.
Yes, just briefly, Mayor. This actually follows a more recent allocation of money that we made for mediation between landlords and tenants, and it's just a continuing positive thing that people on council and administration is trying to do to aid people who are challenged by this housing market. And the least we can do is actually provide them legal services so that what rights they do have are enforced. So obviously all for this and hope we see more of it. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll just add that these funds that you're voting on tonight complement a community agency grant that you all approved out of this year's budget, which is an additional $100,000. So yeah, we're trying to tackle the housing shortage in many different ways, and keeping people housed is a big one. So we appreciate those who are helping people with eviction prevention. Thank you to Deb House and your team. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12N is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute a subgrantee agreement with YWCA Knoxville and the Tennessee Valley to provide an amount not to exceed $30,000 in community development block grant funding for the provision of transitional housing through the Keys of Hope program.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12O is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Elite Petroleum Incorporated to decommission 2 underground storage tanks, conduct repairs, and perform environmental sampling at Knoxville Area Transit Magnolia Facility in an amount not to exceed $86,926.
Move to approve.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12P is a resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with the Boys and Girls Clubs of the Tennessee Valley to provide an amount not to exceed $260,000 to support programs which engage Knoxville youth in life-enriching programming and early workforce readiness activities.
Motion made and seconded. Motion to approve has been made and seconded. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. I see Bart McFadden is here from Boys and Girls Club. Thanks for all you do to support the children of Knoxville. We appreciate it.
12Q is a resolution authorizing the mayor to enter into an agreement with Train US Incorporated to complete engineering assessments and design proposals for 5 solar photovoltaic installations of the City of Knoxville facilities for a cost not to exceed $111,195, districts 3, 5, and 6.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Council members, this is an item that I mentioned in my budget address back in April, and this will allow us to move forward with the process of installing 5 more solar voltaic installations on city facilities.
New word.
And the 5 facilities are the Fleet Services Heavy Shop, the Downtown Fire Department Headquarters Station, the new fire station, number 6 in Burlington, and the Public Safety Complex and CATS Knoxville Station. And so when these are up and running, they will provide 250 kilowatts of power, nearly doubling the existing capacity at the city's existing solar assets. So really pleased with our progress, slow and steady. And Patience Melnick, our Director of Sustainability, is here if you have any technical questions. I can pronounce photovoltaic, and that my expertise ends there. Any further questions or discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
12R is a resolution requesting Knoxville's Community Development Corporation to create a redevelopment plan for an area to be titled the North Waterfront Redevelopment Plan, District 6 and 1.
Move to approve.
Okay, motion made to approve and seconded. As you know, I know many of you have been involved in discussions about this. This will allow us to create a redevelopment plan on the north bank of the Tennessee River from the Henley Bridge to Third Creek, stretching from World's Fair Park through Maplehurst to Neyland Drive. And the hope is to establish this development plan to encourage revitalization and reuse of vacant or underutilized properties while also improving connectivity between UT, downtown, World's Fair Park, and the riverfront. Councilmember Grant.
Yeah, for the record, I just want to say that I proudly support this. I've had constituents reach out just in terms of the information, right? But getting them to understand that this is just a plan, right? It's a plan that the community is going to be involved in. Us as council members will be involved in this process. And so I definitely look forward to it. I got calls about the historic preservation potentially. And I think, I know KCDC has done a good job in making sure that history is preserved when it comes to these type of development plans. So just want the community to know, to trust that and trust this process.
Thank you. Councilmember Honeycutt.
Yes, I agree. I'm also honored to co-sponsor this resolution. And I just wanted to give Ben Bentley, since he's here today, to maybe an opportunity to talk about what the public process might look like on this. Because again, this resolution just begins the conversation. It just asks KCDC to start the process. It's not the end. This is just the beginning. And just want to give you an opportunity to talk about what we're embarking on here and where we're headed.
Yep, just the beginning. Well said. Ben Bentley, 901 North Broadway. Councilman Grant, thank you for the confidence that you have put in our organization and the process partnering with the city on these types of planning processes. It's important to lay that groundwork first, and then it's easy to get it right. With that said, the future process would be us creating a draft based on you all asking us to do that for the area that would include a boundary map. We notify through mailers every property owner within the redevelopment area. We also post in Knox News Sentinel 3 consecutive weeks for a public hearing. We make that draft available online and physical hard copy in KCDC's office so the community can get to know the draft plan, come to the public hearing, hear a little bit more about it, but also specifically provide feedback in terms of what the plan says and what might need to be adjusted. One thing it's really important to point out, the word plan is so ambiguous and can mean so many things. The way I would think of this is a framework plan. So it is really putting some tools in place under state law that allow us to finance major infrastructure. Councilman Grant's district, we just put one of these in place on the Magnolia Avenue corridor. So it's not granular in the sense of this is about a specific project, but it's much more holistic. How do we make infrastructure connectivity investments across this whole area? Does that make sense?
No, absolutely, and thank you for that. I think we all recognize that our North Waterfront is an incredible opportunity to connect, the university to World's Fair Park, to Maplehurst, to downtown, and that this is an opportunity for us and the community to come together and set a unified vision for that, and then to be the one sort of driving that process versus the process driving us.
Yep.
So, and I'm excited to begin this and for you all to lead that effort on the community's behalf.
And I should say at the tail end, after the public comments have been incorporated, digested, we would come back to you all. So there is an approval of the plan at City Council, at County Commission, and at KCDC's board level.
Absolutely. And to your point, Councilman Grant, just reassuring the public that this is the beginning of the process. There's plenty of opportunity to talk about historic preservation, to talk about connectivity to the river, to talk about what's important to us and develop that as part of this process, right?
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you.
Vice Mayor Fugit.
Thank you. I don't often pile on to comments that are made that I agree with, but I will say I think the important thing to remember about this is every good thing that's happened in our city, like downtown, south waterfront, They all started with a city council asking KCDC to do a redevelopment district. Those of you that look around understand that some of those requests were 20 years ago. This is not an overnight thing, so I'm trying to manage expectations because I think that is where we can get caught up in thinking something has failed. Downtown didn't look the way it looked overnight. It's been a 20 to 25-year process, but it started with council people who aren't sitting here, so this is planting a seed for our future that we won't sit around when it comes to fruition. But if I'm still kicking and there's a ribbon to cut, please invite me. Because I really do think that we forget about that people who came before us, a mayor and a council, started these things, and then we see it to fruition. So this is just the first step, and I think it is the kind of project that needs this kind of planning, which is why we all agreed to do it. So I agree with all you're saying. I'm just trying to also contextualize it's going to be a while before you see a lot of dirt and things coming sometimes.
Yes.
You might not be around for all of it, Ben.
Well, that's rude.
I'm just stating facts, you know. We're not spring chickens anymore. What? I'm way older than Ben. Thank you, Debbie.
Okay, all right. Any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Bentley, and thank you, Ms. Justice, also for your work on this so far, and the work is just beginning. Next item, please.
13U is an emergency ordinance enacting a one-year moratorium on the permitting, construction, or development of large data centers requiring 10 megawatts or more of power in the city of Knoxville.
Motion made to approve and seconded. Council members, as promised, this next item is asking you to approve a one-year moratorium on the permitting or construction of new data centers that require large amounts of electricity and water to operate. We've all seen in some other communities the quality of life diminish in communities that have not taken the time to regulate and closely study the impacts of these centers. Our clean air, our clean water are not for sale. It is our duty to protect these precious resources and to protect Knoxville's quality of life. On June 8th, I formally requested Knox County Planning and City staff to develop recommended zoning code changes and other safeguards related to data centers, which currently are not specifically defined in the city's existing codes. This moratorium gives us time to develop these important guardrails. I appreciate in advance your support for this. Any questions or discussion? Vice Mayor Fugit.
Thank you. My question is probably for Ms. Brooks. A little bit about how the moratorium is one thing, but a little bit of explanation about then what kind of process will you undertake as Planning Commission begins to look at this for zoning and other issues?
Your microphone isn't working. Also, Patience Melnick, Director of Sustainability, can maybe add even more than Ms. Brooks was. She's available to.
Amy Brooks, Knox County Planning. Councilmember Fugit, we are already, you might recall that Knox County has also asked us to look at this, and we are working on a comprehensive code update for the county, and it is already on our agenda to look at data centers. So we'll approach this like we do all ordinance amendments and work closely with city staff in the development of those and bring them forward. Probably, I can't give you a timeline right now, but in terms of the exact process, it would follow the same process. So working closely with city staff, take it before Planning Commission for consideration, allow opportunity for public review and input, and then bring it forward to you all after Planning Commission has made a recommendation.
Okay, I would just ask that if there's an opportunity for public input from city, please. A lot of people are concerned about these, so I'd really think as much education as we can do as we look at data centers, what they really impact, what do they really do, I think that will help people feel better when something finally comes to someone to vote on it. That would be my request.
Okay, I concur. Good idea. Councilmember Grant.
Yeah, and thank you, Vice Mayor. You pretty much asked the question that I was going to ask, and thank you to Amy Brooks as well, but also thank you to you, Mayor, for just taking the initiative. You didn't have to do that, right? So to me, it shows that you're listening, and we want to make sure that, this process is a streamlined process that, the community is well notified on, and there's not too much misinformation that's being put out there. So just thank you for that.
Thank you. Councilmember Thomas.
Yes, I would just like to underline something that my colleagues have said is I am getting a lot of public input about this. Members of the public are really, really concerned about the effects that these have, the whole thing, energy usage, water usage, noise, quality of life. So this will be, I'm sure, under a lot of scrutiny about what these guidelines are. So thank you.
Councilmember DeBartoleben.
I appreciate and support this moratorium. I do want to remind us that we've had data centers in Knox County for a long time. U.S. Cellular is one that has served us well. The data that they help us transport between each other, even what I'm doing here. But agree that the pressure now of AI, mining, the amount of power used. I know that KUB's top power user is a data mining company in the Forks of the River Park. And I think it's going to be really important in this process, not just to think about where, but to think about ordinance issues like sound. So right now, that data center meets the sound ordinance for the city of Knoxville, but that sound ordinance was designed for nightclubs and for bars and for your neighbor. It wasn't designed for a low hum 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That said, there are 2 data centers that are about 3 megawatts in our downtown area, one next to the baseball stadium, one in Summer Place. No one knows they're there, you can't hear them. And so really thinking about what are the policies that we put in place about renewable energy, because we need some form of these data centers, about recyclable water or recycling water in the issue, and then especially sound as it involves our ecology. And I think of that one that sits right there on the French Broad River, and I think about every fish that lives in that river, every bug on that bank, the night skies, and just think that we can do this right. So look forward to the year of doing this.
Thank you. Just some important things to consider is that we do have the benefit of not being the first to go through this, and so we can learn from communities that are cautionary tales and have some really negative impacts, and maybe some that have done it right. That's what this moratorium buys us time to study that, get community ideas. The one large data center that you mentioned is outside the city limits, but I do appreciate that this is a community-wide issue, and water and air and KUB are not confined to city limits. So I anticipate that the planning guidelines will be something that Knox County and the city of Knoxville can work on together, because it's what's good for the city is good for the county, and we are Knox County residents and taxpayers as well. So we appreciate Knox County's planning expertise and work on this. So, but yeah, we will keep the community involved and engaged and walk hand in hand together on all this. All those in favor, please say aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, time now for public forum. First is Vivian Shipe. Ms. Shipe, please come to the podium. You'll have up to 3 minutes to address council.
Vivian Shipe, 3615 MLK, Knoxville, 37914. Tonight I come before you with 2 areas of community concern. The first is the need to immediately fill all 21 positions on the Disability Council. The pause of the work for the council for the last 2 years and the shuttering of the Disability Office and removal of access to a certified coordinator did not end the suffering and the need for information and services in the disability community. It is imperative that all those seats be filled by representatives from all 9 districts, for they have the lived experiences to be the voice that has been silenced with a directive to call 311 or the HR department. The second issue concerns the Chilhowie Park Advisory Group. The information placed on the website concerning the park reveals a problem. There are people on the group that did not know they were even selected. Some of those selected have not been attending meetings, and there are those on this group who were for the sale of that public land who should never have been placed on this group in the first place. These choices have now manifested into the 8th principle presented on the website that states the vision of the park should be one that includes a hotel, housing, and entertainment centers. This is not what the people want to see in Chilhowie Park. As of July 1st, there is now $2 million of the promised $10 million available to immediately see something positive on that land. How hard is it to go buy some picnic tables, shelters, and gazebos? Right now, people could be holding summer reunions, weddings, church picnics, and how about some splash pads? How about some swing sets? We could be doing that now. Long term, how about digging up all of that asphalt and planting some grass? That's what the people want. Put hotels on Magnolia if you want to develop an area. That is not the work of the CPAG. The community did not go away, and we are not going away. We are the watchmen on the wall, and we want transparency. We want true action, not empty promises or bait and switch techniques. It's time to walk the talk made at the budget reveal and make Chilhowie Park a place for the people.
Okay, next person signed up to speak at public forum is Rico Hopewell. Mr. Hopewell, if you could come to the podium, please state your name and address for the record. You'll have up to 3 minutes to address council.
Is it okay if I hand these out?
Yeah, Mr. Johnson will come get them and distribute them for you.
Okay, thank you so much.
He's going to start the clock, and then he'll come get it
Okay,
for you. So
okay.
he didn't want to leave his place. Yeah.
Good evening. On behalf of the Hopewell Foundation, my name is Rico Hopewell. I reside at 5024 Landbrook Drive, Knoxville, Tennessee, 37921. I just want to say good evening. On behalf of the Hopewell Foundation, I want to express my sincere gratitude to Mayor India Kincannon, to the City of Knoxville, the City Council, and the African American Equity Restoration Task Force for your continued investment in entrepreneurship, economic development, and the future of our community. This year marked the second time that the Hopewell Foundation has been honored to receive the African American Equity Restoration Task Force grant. Receiving this $10,000 grant was much more than financial support. It was an investment in people, purpose, and possibility. Because of your investment, we successfully hosted our Entrepreneurship 101 from Idea to Action workshop on May the 8th, 2026 from 8:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. at the Chain Center. This event welcomed 56 aspiring and existing entrepreneurs, including 15 high school students from across our city and even Alcoa, who spent the day gaining practical tools, building relationships, and developing strategies to launch and grow successful businesses. The quality of leadership represented at this workshop was extraordinary. Participants learned from leaders from the University of Tennessee Haslam College of Business, representatives from Knox County government, experienced business strategists, successful local entrepreneurs, banking professionals, and respected faith leaders. Their willingness to invest their knowledge and experience made a lasting impact on everyone in attendance. What made this event even more special was the incredible support from our community. More than 50 local businesses and community partners joined this initiative by donating outstanding raffle prizes, including a brand new set of tires. We raised enough funds to give away an Apple iMac monitor, iPads, and Apple laptops, gift cards, professional service, and many other valuable resources. It was a true demonstration of what happens when the entire community rallies around entrepreneurship and opportunity. I also wanted to share another blessing that reflects the heart of this work and why I love my city and why I love it's growing. And I've been here my entire life, and I love to see the growth in our city. But I was able, through my efforts of being entrepreneurship here in Knoxville, was able to give 7 Austin East High School students $1,000 apiece towards their college education. And for that, I'm truly, truly grateful to be able to do that. I also want to recognize and thank the members of the African American Equity Restoration Task Force who have faithfully served our city, and your leadership has opened doors for organizations like ours to make a measurable difference as this important work continues. I look forward to partnering with the City Council member, Councilman Danzel Grant, and the Knoxville City Council to create even more opportunities for individuals, families, and small businesses across our city. Together, we are proving that when government, nonprofits, businesses.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go. Am I
Okay.
gone? I was
Yeah,
gone. I was
you
gone.
nailed
All
it.
right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
so
you,
much.
Mr. Hopewell.
All right.
Council members, that concludes public forum, and without objection,
No, I just wanted to say thank you because it's not too often that grant recipients make the time to come back and say thank you. So thank you, Rico.
Thank you all. Thank you.
thank you. Without objection, this meeting is adjourned.